So good to have you. The Madrid derby was the standout fixture in round 6 action in La Liga last weekend. Before we look at the game in detail, though, let's take the full results from the round. So Cadiz, they won on the road, beating Real Valladolid 1-0. Mallorca winning on the island, beating Almeria 1-0. Barca 3-0 at home over Elche. Valencia also 3-0 winners at home. Celta de Vigo, their victims. Athletic Bilbao and Rayo Vallecano, that was a thriller. Athletic Club winning 3-2. Getafe winning on the road, beating Osasuna 2-0. Stalemate between Villarreal and Sevilla 1-1. Betis beating Girona 2-1 in Seville. Real Sociedad taking Espanyol down 2-1 over there at in Anoeta, and Atletico Madrid at home at the Wanda Metropolitano, beaten 2-1 by Real Madrid. This is what the table looks like. So Real are the only perfect team in Spain. 6 wins from their 6 games. Barcelona had a draw, so they are 2 points adrift in second. Betis, strong start to the campaign. They are on 15 points in third. Athletic Bilbao moved up to fourth with that win over Rayo Vallecano. Osasuna have slipped. Villarreal have slipped. Atletico have stayed firm. Real Sociedad, Valencia and Mallorca all on the winning trail and all move up in these standings. In terms of the second half of the table, Elche, they fell to 20th. Cadiz moved up. Valladolid, they slipped. Espanyol down. Almeria down. Sevilla, Getafe up. Celta de Vigo, Rayo Vallecano and Girona all dropping down in the table. So to the Madrid derby now, and Real edged a tense derby 2-1. Their Belgian international custodian Thibaut Courtois spoke to the media post-game.
A very good victory for us. It's a 9th victory in a row from us in all competitions, so we're really happy. We had a good start. We played well with the ball. We killed them when we had to kill them with the space they left behind. So we started well. The second half was not our best second half, and then with an unlucky goal, they come a bit back in the game, but we managed well to keep the victory. So yeah, it's an important one just before the international break, and happy we could win all 6 of our games in the Liga. No, obviously we miss Benzema, he's our striker, but it showed that we have a lot of quality in this team, and that that anyone who plays is ready to score, and that's really good to see. Yeah, definitely. I think it's what we train, what we wanted to find those spaces that they leave, and we did really well. We had those 2 goals, and maybe we could have countered sometimes a bit better and then score 0-3, 0-4. But yeah, in general, it was good goals, and happy with the victory.
Multilingual goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois. Meanwhile, the Williams brothers, Nico and Iñaki, were instrumental as Athletic Bilbao beat Rayo Vallecano in a 5-goal thriller at San Mamés in the Basque country. The 28-year-old Iñaki drew Bilbao level with a 14th minute strike before Nico struck their third in the 33rd minute of a frantic game packed with incident and even intervention from that most cussed of technological tools, VAR. Nico will join up with the Spain squad for the UEFA Nations League games against Switzerland and Portugal, while Iñaki will be on duty for Ghana in friendlies against Brazil and France. Juan Giarango joins in on the conversation. Juan, good afternoon. Let's start with that Madrid derby. Atletico flew out the traps and threatened to overrun Real. Then that storm abated and Rodrigo got his goal. Valverde got his goal. Then the second half was something totally different from what we saw in the first. And Hermoso scoring, didn't know how he scored. The ball ricocheted off him. And then the monkey chants at Vinicius, the racial slurs before the game. There was everything, undesirable stuff and stuff that we like about football, all rolled into one Madrid derby, my friend.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you touched basically every single point that needed to be touched. And of course, that last one needs to be discussed even more at a more in-depth level. But let's talk about what happened on the pitch. I think that's more important because it showed the character, but also the ability and willingness to suffer of this Real Madrid side that has truly become not only the only undefeated team, the only team with a perfect record in Spanish football, but the only team in Europe with a perfect record in all competitions. So we look at this Real Madrid side, and yes, they can dominate you in various different ways. But at the same time, when you're the one that ends up being the offending side, the one that needs to go forward, the one that has the impetus, they also show that they can drop back and absorb all types of pressure, especially when you have that wild card in the back called Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah. There's a comment made during the game that I really, really appreciated. One of the commentators, I think it was the color man, not the man in the role that you have perfected one, the play-by-play. The color man said that when you look at Tchouameni in this Real Madrid team, he's played less than 10 games for Real in all competitions, including friendlies and everything else. The boy looks as if he's been in Spain forever. How come?
It's the ability to be able to fit in when you have the other midfielders around you that end up fitting with the pieces and the qualities that they have. When you have a Luka Modric, there's something that you have to learn from, albeit a very brief period of time. Yeah, you do learn a couple of things here and there from Casemiro with Toni Kroos. And they also end up fitting so well alongside you that they make your qualities come through and shine. They also don't allow you to have that pressure to have an immediate impact. And most likely, what ends up happening with Tchouameni is the fact that he's a different player compared to Casemiro. If you're looking for Casemiro, you're not going to have him. He's a player that does handle the ball a little bit better when it's at his feet. He's able to play it out better. He's able to push up a little bit more, thus being able to add another option to Real Madrid's vaunted and, of course, copious amounts of midfielders that they have at the moment.
Yeah, the other one, quickly on Real Madrid before we discuss the other stuff, Juan. Mm-hmm. You know, when Valverde burst on the scene, I said, okay, so he's a midfield shuttler. He's aggressive in the tackle. He has physical presence, so he can command. He's a commanding presence in the midfield. Yes. He won't be a goal threat. He doesn't have ball skills, ball handling skills, but he's going to be okay. But this boy has been transformed by Carlo Ancelotti. He's now Valvernaldo. He's scoring goals, outrageous goals, running from inside his own half, curling home with his weaker foot, can beat a man on the flank where he's dribbling. Sometimes he's deployed as a right winger, as traditional outside right. What has gone into this transformation of a player who looked limited but functional into this extravagant attacking talent?
Well, the fact that he's not, the fact that he is dynamic, and the fact that he's been given a lot more freedom from Carlo Ancelotti said, this player has to score more than 10 goals. If not, I should just quit my job because I don't know how to coach. And so far, he's been able to really exceed the output that he's had so far in his entire career, just in this very short period of time. So that tells you a great deal about what Fede Valverde is able to offer you as a midfielder. Remember, he's also the player that set up Vini Jr. in the Champions League final in that match against Liverpool. So keep in mind, he's not only a goal scorer, he's also a provider. He also has another, which was another great quote from Carlo Ancelotti, says, this player should be scoring more. It looks like he has rocks in his foot. That's how hard he hits that ball. So it ends up showing you the different things that he can do, that he maybe wasn't able to do because he was younger, he was inexperienced, or maybe he wasn't being put in positions where he can really show that talent.
Yeah, talk to us about the racist stuff though, Juan, because this all started, and I want you, with your benefit of your experience, of course, you write for one of the major dailies in Barcelona, so your hand is on the pulse. What started the whole issue about Vinicius Jr. and monkeying around what the agent said on the Spanish football program, and how that gave the Atletico Ultras, the more radical supporters, reason to plan to attack and abuse the player in that derby on the weekend?
You know what? When it comes to these types of things, if you start blaming one person because of it, then you're trying to hide behind a shield. You're trying to hide behind something that you as a person genuinely feel is right. Because let's be honest, whatever the journalist said on television, he immediately was not only did he double down thinking, you know, the mentality of the 1970s and the 1960s, where that term was used as a means to kind of express a way that children play. And we're in 2022. You got to know that. If you're working in media, you have to know exactly how to communicate yourself properly. Now, if you are justifying that based on the fact that a journalist says that, and you say, well, you know what? Yeah, he's right. That's okay to say. Well, I don't think so. I don't really think so. But this has been a problem that we've had not only in Spain, because it would be unfair for me to go after Spanish culture and say, oh, because Spaniards are racist. No, it's something that is human nature. We're allowing as football fans, as individuals, as members of a society to go and say, you know, it's okay to go call somebody a monkey because at the end of the day, who am I? Who's going to see me? And that ends up being something that ends up being multiplied. And that to me is even worse. The fact that you end up justifying something about someone else and going and saying, and mind you, it's not something that's happened in sport in Spain. You look at in the United States as well. That's happened as well because, well, you know, these minorities end up celebrating and end up being way too overly exuberant in their ways. You know, I think it's something that we have to look at from a social level, and we have to fix at that point. Therefore, the roots of that problem end up being eradicated.
Yeah, one talking about the Spanish agent who on TV said Vinicius should stop monkeying around and dancing when he scores goals. He should go to the Samba Drome and dance. And he's saying that those Atletico supporters who may have tried to use it as cover to motivate them to racially abuse Vinicius have no leg to stand on, and I quite agree with you. We're running out of time. I have to talk about this. I must tell you, Juan, Athletic Bilbao is, for some reason I don't know, they're a club that I have a soft spot for, and I don't have a soft spot for anything. I really have one. Knowing their history, the fact that they don't buy foreigners, if you're not from the area, you can't play for them, and that philosophy, unstinting, unyielding, over 100 years, has kept them in the top flight in Spain. I think there are not many people and institutions, Juan, who will die on principle. The Basques will die on principle, and I love them for it. But that said, Iñaki Williams, Nico Williams, the two Williams brothers, two black men in a Basque team from a white part of Spain. Well, all of Spain is white. It's a remarkable story. And then, Juan, they can play. Iñaki can play, but Nico looks as if he's even better.
Yes, and you say it is true, but I mean, let's not look at it as just a matter of skin color that ends up being how they play well or not, or how they're representing a jersey. They're eligible. They have the criteria to play, and they've been embraced by it. They've been protected by it as well. They've been two players that have given their heart and soul. I mean, look at Iñaki Williams' record as far as continuity. Yeah, he's not a supreme goal scorer. He's not going to be one of the top 5 goal scorers in Spain in the last 10 years. No, he's not. But he gives his all 100%. And that's something that's appreciated. And he also embodies the values what Lezama have been able to exude throughout their history. And they're just one of the many examples that have been able to come through. Of course, that example ends up being unique in and of itself. Absolutely
so. Cracking stuff, Juan. Thank you very much for talking with us. We'll talk again. Just to tell the viewers that Iñaki is going off to duties with Ghana. He's going to be playing for Ghana for the first time. That's a country of his parents who came over with him. His mother was pregnant. They crossed the desert to get to Spanish North Africa. That's how he got into the Basque country in Spain. And his brother has been called up by Spain. So he's playing for Ghana. His younger brother are playing for Spain. And it's quite a wonderful story. Back with more on the Sportsman Zone after this.